Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. I'm going to try and do some hard work without working hard. How's that? I recently got a call from a friend of mine who was at a flea market, and he said, hey, I just saw a pen greenie. He says, it seems like it has a little bit of a problem with it. The owner tells me it needs a bail spring, and would you be interested in purchasing the reel? Well, we kind of negotiated over the phone. The seller was asking a reasonable price, and then we got on to, well, you're telling me it needs a bail spring. Can you do better? And we got another $5 off the reel for that. And I thought, if nothing else, this would be an interesting project to show you, well, how some people that maybe don't understand fishing reels can make a mistake. This is going to cost them some money in the valuation. So let's just go over this for a moment. This is the Penn Spin Fisher 700. It's one of the earlier ones. It's not the earliest, but it is one of the early ones. The reel was introduced in the early 1960s. I believe 1961 was the first time that Penn had introduced this spinning reel, and spinning reels were becoming popular at that time. Well, this reel seems to turn okay. We'll go take a look inside of that, but I want to show you a little trick in a little bit about that bail, because I don't think it needs bail springs. We were working through a third party here, my buddy, and he said that it's not fully tripping. It's kind of doing a little dance. I call it ballerina, but he said it's doing a little bit of a dance. It's getting caught up. He said the owner says that it's a bad spring. You know what? It's not. This is not terrible. This is what I expected to see. Maybe a little bit more grease than I like, but you know what? The grease, at least it's grease there and not dirt and debris and the like. I mean, it's dirty grease, but at least it's not salted up and sanded and heavily corroded or anything. These gears look like they're in very good condition. Here's how that reel works. It's got a main gear that's in the back here. It's brass. It's got a little stud and pivot and washer on it that goes to a crosswind arm. The crosswind arm, because that is an offset mount, it's not dead center, it's going to move along the rim of that gear, so it's going to go high and low. The crosswind arm is going to transfer that movement to the axle shaft, which controls our spool, and that's going to raise the spool up and down. So a nice mechanics behind this reel, and this reel is still very sought after. Well, while I close this up, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you like fishing reel service and repair, if you like to learn some tips and techniques, if you like to understand a little bit about the fishing reel history. We start a little bit about it here on this one. If you'd like to know a little bit more about the manufacturers and so on, what was popular, what's not popular, what it makes sense to buy, what it doesn't make sense to buy, those kinds of things, then I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel. If you do subscribe to my channel, you're going to find I work on all kinds of fishing reels. The one that I'll be working on here is a 1960s vintage spinning reel. Tomorrow might be the latest trolling reel or ocean reel. Maybe it'll be a bait caster for freshwater. You never know. All right, so here's what's going on with the bail. I can feel it's very sluggish as I open it up. As I look at the bail itself, it's rounded. It's what it should be, so that doesn't concern me. When you trip it, it doesn't close. It kind of steps there. Now, I have done videos to show you that sometimes is the result of a badly bent wire. In this case, that wire is pretty symmetrical, and well, I don't think it's that. And here's why I don't think it's a spring. If it was a spring, I don't believe this would fire at all. And this one's firing. It's cutting, it's releasing, it's just not snapping shut. So there's two things probably going on here, and I'll show you how to kind of test to see maybe you can get lucky without taking the bail off. So we're going to call this segment, Don't Touch That Bail Until You Try This. All right. On this reel, I'm not quite sure. The 704 has a double spring assembly in it. This may only have a single spring, and I believe it's located on the side that is not the bail arm side. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Here's my big secret. It involves penetrating oil. So we're going to remove the spool. And there's the trip mechanism is over here. So to me, it's one of two things. Either this trip mechanism is being real tight and is holding too much pressure on that arm, or we have dirt and debris and junk on the side plates. So we're going to take a penetrating oil. In this case, I'm going to use WD-40, but any penetrating oil will work. I am going to flood where that trip assembly is there. I'm going to flood the arm seam on both sides. And then I'm going to work the bail arm. I'm going to make sure that penetrating oil gets into both sides. And one more dose below. You can't over oil it. And because this is, well, I just bought this as a reel, but I'll probably wind up reselling it at some point. I want to make sure everything is working good. And look at that. All of a sudden, just a little bit of oil. I got a pretty good snap there going now. May not be enough, but we're going to just do a little bit more of this. While I do that, if you have any questions on this reel or any reel, maybe you're working on a reel, maybe you're stuck on something, if you leave those questions in the box, the comment section, I will try to answer those for you, and maybe I can get you up and ready to go again. All right, I think that's going to be the secret here. I'm going to put the spool back on. Okay, there we go. And I didn't pay a lot for this reel, so even if the reel could never be fixed, and this one can be fixed, that button alone is probably worth what I paid for it. The handle would be a bonus, parted out, and you'd make more money. All right, here we go. Let's see if it snaps now. Look at that. So here's a fella that sold a reel because the bail didn't work. We didn't touch a thing on the bail. We just got the penetrating oil. We lubricated up the sides. We saved ourselves a whole bunch of worry. That's just tripping about as easy as it can trip. Never had to do anything other than squirt it down. And now, if you wanted to take this thing fishing, you probably could take it right now. I'm not that person. I like to clean it up, make sure everything's intact inside, make sure the drag washers are working. I mean, they're holding now. I don't know when you back it off. Yeah, you know what? If you were in a rush that I got to get out there, the stripers are biting, pick your fish, I got to get out there right now, throw a line on here and take it out. You know what? You'd be okay. On a reel that is 60 years old plus, you'd be okay. Go figure that one out. Well, I'm going to do a full service on it, but I just wanted to share this with you. It is an interesting way to solve a problem without any mechanical work at all, just a little bit of knowledge. I hope you've enjoyed that. I want to thank our first responders, our police, fire, safety, rescue, all of the folks involved in our public well-being and welfare. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank our subscribers for making the channel what it is. I want to wish everybody a great day and good luck on your fishing, and enjoy it while you can. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.